Okay, so homework one, it's not your run-of-the-mill visualization type of data, although it's very popular. I mean, you find it if I were to, buy a dishwasher or a fridge, I would kind of run into that. If I were to compare, like you saw, different pieces of software usually come with that. One semester we looked at Garmin features, and so one type of visualization was a dashboard like that kind of allows different things to look at. Again, it's very, very similar to the table that you had for your homework. And this is also from the Garmin. It's just another, and I'm not sure, that may be a different person, but it's just another dashboard to kind of look at different visualizations and they're linked together. Then more on the, I don't know, creative side, or one way to look at all of these was through one of these star plots. So they had one for each and every Garmin device. You could have had one for each and every software packet or whatever photogrammy packet in there. So it kind of, we do one per each. Along the same lines, these are almost, they're starting to be more like one of those baseball cards, baseball player cards or soccer player, where the picture is not there because there's no picture, but you can see, this is about software now. You can see kind of what languages each software is doing. So you can see one of these cards for each piece of software. So you could have done something like that. It looks like, people can pick up a card, and it's one way to slice that data. So kind of slicing it on rows and then presenting each row as its own. Some people thought, well, what if we, again, this is some piece of software, but they use Venn diagrams. So Cloud Foundry, Cloud.com, and OpenStack have all the attributes, while so basically Nimbus, Opera, and Nebula only work on Linux, and then you can kind of see how everything kind of fits in here. So again, out of the beaten path, kind of a Venn diagram. This was more of a user interface. You click on something, you see the screen size, and kind of let you explore. Kind of creative, again, going back to those GPSs, just created a car out of them. How they fit together, they kind of have the same similar things, almost like, and notice some are smaller, some are bigger. So basically for a set, you would have probably a car for each column of the data set. So kind of slicing it into columns. Here is somebody using a graph or a network. So basically they're saying NUV, this particular NUV has a car slot, doesn't have Bluetooth, has text to speech, has lane assist. So you can kind of follow this to a network. This can be maybe even simplified where it's not a yes, no. If the link is missing, it means a no if the link is connected. So moving the data from a table into a network visualization. And I know I've seen one this year. Somebody had something that resembled this. So all of those are kind of, now they're starting to be a little bit less creative in the sense that we let the automatic tools, and maybe I don't know what a large language model would do to this, to be fair, but we let the automatic tools to create it, and this is probably something in Tableau. And again, for each GPS, you kind of see count of, and these are all the features. So all the features are set here, not quite properly displayed. But let's say we could display it properly, but then it kind of looks very blocky. But still, I think it kind of works. Now we're moving into more of a, this is just 0, 1, 2, or 3. So there's a bunch of zeros, there's a lot of ones, there's a few twos and a few threes. So they don't look that, it starts to be, you know, Tableau or this is Power BI. Power BI tends to kind of, and Tableau, both of them, when they try to do it automatically, if we try to put it in a bar chart and it's zero, it's a yes and no, it doesn't look that great. Here is, somebody tried to do a tree map, and I think that kind of works. On the other hand, many times, and this tree map has, I don't know how it's broken down, but there's a color to it. So it can work to some, oh, okay, so I see each color is a certain property. So each color would be a column in your data, and the rows are going to be here on tree map, or how many, if they satisfy it and so forth. So that could be something to look at. Then we're going to a pie chart. I don't know how useful this is. I think there's a paper presentation on pie charts. Next, we're looking at this visualization and start. In general, I have not seen a good, I'm not saying there isn't one, but I have not seen a good example of why would you use this visualization and not a bar chart. It's just one bar instead of this big long thing. It's kind of hard to, there's not a lot of text you can put in it. So everything in here could be put in a bar. I'm not sure why, how they're colored. And I know some automatic visualization tools really like this thing and propose it to you or put it in there, but I don't see a reason why this is different than a bar chart or maybe even one of these. But of course, you'll have to do this by hand, one of these cards. Why do some of them touch and others don't touch? Again, there's no rhyme or reason why. I'm still looking for a visualization or an application where these circles really make sense. Sometimes the circles are bigger based on certain properties, but again, why not use a bar chart at that point? There's also a lot of these techniques where they just take the table and try and kind of collapse it into something more colorful. So that would be one. This would be another one. This also seems to be more like Tableau or Power BI. Also, more or less in a tabular format. And that's it. Maybe even worse than the normal one because there's two tables now instead of maybe one. But that's kind of the things that normally I see, and variations on these themes. And that was for homework 1. And